welcome back to Kart Chase coverage of the 2023 Northeast Karting Challenge as we get ready to go racing for your Miami New Century Financial Group 100cc Seniors and Master category. Split start between the two fields as they enter underneath the CMC Motorsports bridge to get ready to take the green flag here today. Race officials looking over the field, splitting them up down into the tram line, and we're getting ready to go racing here today. Out and we are racing here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, heading down into turn number 1, full tilt racing 1, and it's already a great start for the rest of the field as they head on up to the top of the hill. As they work their way through great action amongst the drivers as they try to single file out, a couple of battling out for second, third, and fourth as they work their way up to the top of the hill of the VDSR light pole turn. Great drive as we have a pass coming in. A little bit of sideways action right there for the 967 as he will lose a ton of time. One kart off the track, gathers it back up, and will continue on his way. Their way through the 994 machine of Mike Doty racing machine and trying to get himself set. Here comes another full tilt racing machine as they come out of the CDC Motorsports back section of the course as full tilt racing and Mike Doty racing will battle for position here as they work their way through out of the Cannonball Storage chicane. It is going to be a close one to see who comes out with lap 1 leading here as they come through the dog leg for the first time. And it will be none other than Ethan O-Ring who will take over the race lead as he goes wide out of turn number 1. Loses a couple of spots possibly, but will gather it back at Chris Harrower. Liam Kerper battling out for the top spot. Working their way up to the top of the hill, heading down the Bolton Motorsports back straightaway. Your top 3 of O-Ring, Harrower, and Kerper. Brian Daniele also in the mix as well. At the 945 machine of Ethan O-Ring and that Mike Doty Lando Norris machine has a great drive to take over the race lead here today in heat race number 2. As they head over the CMC back section, heading over to the Cannonball Garage chicane, and so far Ethan O-Ring trying to pick up where he left off and seeing if he can get himself a shot of heat race 2 victory, heading down the short chute through the dog leg. Great drive as your top 4 changing in second place for position as now Chris Harrower moves up to P2.
Much different start here to heat number 2 for 100cc Master and 100cc Senior presented by New Century Financial Group in Miami, USA East. But after a heroic attempt for the lead from Ethan O-Ring, opened the door for Liam Kerper to slip on by. We're back in kind of a bit of a deja vu moment. Brian Daniele, Chris Harrower, Ethan O-Ring trying to hunt down the fastest driver all weekend long, Liam Kerper's LN kart, as they rocket down the Bolton Motorsports back straightaway. Alex Jelnick still rides in that 5th spot, about a 1.5 seconds away, and then you go back to Banana Man of Frank Rapasarda, Galo Barros, and then Juan Cosme and Tony Buenaventura. For this group here in the top 4, though, they've all stayed at least lined up a little better this time. We'll see if that full tilt racing Tony kart of Ethan O-Ring's close enough to move forward. Here's a look at that 5th and 6th place battle. That's Alex Jelnick and Banana Man right behind him there on the comp kart as they go on through. So as they come out of the Cannonball Storage chicane, this will be lap number 3 completed. The top 6 are all still pretty close together. Here we go side by side a little bit down the front stretch. Brian Daniele will get clear on Ethan O-Ring, saying, all right, young gun, how about you try and follow me? We tried following you earlier in heat 1. It didn't work. Follow me forward. Maybe we can get ourselves up to Liam Kerper, but they all need about 3 more tenths of a second to do that. Let's see if the veteran Brian Daniele can lead Ethan O-Ring and Chris Harrower up to the promised land of the lead.
Kerper continues to hold strong right now, but watch Brian Daniele continue to showcase why he's the wily veteran. He knows how to get around this circuit, and it's starting to try and hunt down. He's got a big push right there from Ethan O-Ring as they will hunt down the race leader into the braking zone. They'll go good follow through as they were trying to sneak up a little bit of recording effect just briefly, but they will work their way to the CMC back section.
Yeah, coming out of there towards the Cannonball Storage chicane. This time by will be around halfway. 5 minutes more or less completed. 8 minutes plus 2 laps is the distance. And you can see the gap is opening back from 4th of Chris Harrower to Alex Jelnick and Banana Man there in 5th and 6th. They haven't changed spots either. Daniele, though, he's also pulled away quite a bit from Ethan O-Ring, and that lap alone was the best on the racetrack. A 1:11.18 to the leaders, 1:9. Big slide there from Banana Man. That was a huge slide sideways trying to get around the 625 Alex Jelnick. Not going to happen. And so no change there for the 5th spot. It is still Jelnick hanging on in the comp cart in the 625, back about a second or two away. Now he gets a little more breathing room there in the red suit and the white gloves. And back from 5th and 6th, Frank Rapisarda. That is the leader in your Masters division. Back from that group has Galo Barros right behind him. It's a couple seconds back after the split start. But look at this, there's Galo Barros at the end of that group there. Frank Rapisarda's in the mix. Is that Banana Man right there? I think we may be missing one driver off of timing and scoring. I was calling the number 921 being up in that lead group. He's actually in this one battling. It's a three-way fight for the lead in Masters. There's Barros at the end of it. I believe it's Rapisarda in the middle or at the front. As we watch them come through, that's the 473. So Rapisarda's there. Banana Man in the comp cart leads them on the Master division. It's one more driver behind Alex Jelnick, or right around him in the Team Pride colored suit. That's running 6th in 100cc senior. Meanwhile, while that's going on in Masters, let's check back in with our front runners. Liam Kerper must have heard us on the loudspeaker talking about Brian Daniele's speed, because he just found another 0.3 of a second, a 1:10.86 for Liam Kerper to pull back away from Brian Daniele and company. Ethan O-Ring's reeled the Tony Kart for Team Ferris Racing back in here as they head down the Bolton Motorsports back straightaway, and the gap to the lead is now just under a second here through the CMC back section, Taylor.
And they're really fighting out hard here as they work their way out of the CMC back section over towards the Cannonball Storage chicane. And of course, with O-Ring battling so hard with Daniele, that's of course allowing Liam Kerper to pull away even more. We could see over a second gap between your leader and second, third, and fourth as they head through the dogleg. Great run. They're now trying to get themselves a little more organized to see if they can hunt them down across the line. Brian Daniele, 1.4 seconds. So he's lost about half a second on your race leader.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were battling when we switched to them. Evidently, they must have passed on the early part of the lap. Here's a pass from Harrower, or an attempt at one on Ethan O-Ring, and he nearly gets into the dirt there, but for the most part, they were pretty tame. They just weren't fast enough. No matter how much they were lined up, it didn't matter. Liam Kerper's just that much quicker than everybody else here in the race mode. They were close to him in qualifying. In fact, they were better than him, a couple of them in qualifying. Harrower and Daniele both out-qualified Liam Kerper, but Liam's been just unbeatable in the races. And again here, this lap compared, Brian Daniele didn't battle with O-Ring. That was O-Ring versus Harrower. They're not fighting at all. They're just slower. Still really good in general, second, third, and fourth, just not fast enough to hunt down Liam Kerper. And all he's got to do now is just kind of cruise this one home. We're past the 8-minute mark. Should be the 2-to-go signal this time. It'll be a battle for second once they realize there's no shot of catching Liam Kerper. For now, they're lined up through the dogleg here. Single file, 2, 3, 4, coming to the double sticks.
Obstacle sticks in the air for Liam Kerper as he will take the 2 to go. And now it's that fight for second, like you pointed out there, Xander. Brian Daniele continues to try to hold on to that second spot. Has a little bit of breathing room for the time being, but as they climb up to the DDSR light pole turn, it's now just a matter of time to see what Ethan O-Ring can do, or Chris Harrower can do in the Catbird seat.
Yeah, Harrower, again, remember, this is the guy who started on the front row in that opening heat race, qualified on the pole. We know that the single lap speed's been there earlier in the day for the Fulcrum Competition Services Comp Car driver. He's also running double duty like many here this weekend. It's 100cc senior and tag senior action for Chris Harrower. But through the CMC Motorsports section for the final time, I don't think we'll see much. Ethan O-Ring maybe going to prove me wrong. That was a slick crossover. He'll get back into second on Daniele. In fact, here comes Harrower looking to go as well. He can't do it. not going to be able to get by in that last chicane. Brian Daniele needs a Hail Mary right here. He needs a really good run. He gets a decent one. I don't know if it'll be enough. It's going to be close. Meanwhile, up front, Liam Kerper, nice and easy. White flag, 1 to go. Here comes the battle to the line. This is for the final time around. One more lap. They're door to door, and they bang tires in one. Here comes Harrower. They're 3 wide over to turn number 2.
3 wide, and Harrower moves up a spot. He'll get around Brian Daniele for the 3rd spot. Sets his sights on O-Ring to get into 2nd place. He'll try to put the bumper to him as they climb the hill.
Yeah, not going to happen there. Let's see. We've seen it before. Harrower's moved Ethan O-Ring out of the way right here in heat number 1. Doesn't do it here in heat 2. Doesn't feel confident in the back section of the racetrack. O-Ring to the low side down the back straightaway, presented by Bolton Motorsports. Harrower's going to nose ahead. He'll stick it on the outside and get clear on Ethan O-Ring. So Chris Harrower gets through the mayhem, gets to 2nd. Now he watched Ethan O-Ring last lap pull a slick crossover. He's going to let it do it again. He almost does, but O-Ring kind of gets tripped up on the bumper. Has to tuck back in. Now he'll run to the chicane. He's barely there, just a nose. Has to back out last second. Up and over, and in the same position that Daniele was coming to the line. O-Ring needs a wonderful launch through the chicane, maybe even some pushing out for Brian Daniele. Is it going to be enough? Liam Kerper collects his 2nd straight heat win. Here comes the battle of the line. O-Ring pops out last second, not enough. It's Harrower, O-Ring, Daniele, Alex Jelnick there.